Hey everybody, Steve Bergen here, and we're going to talk about mail merge with Excel. I have in front of us an Excel sample spreadsheet of the United States with made-up addresses, and we're going to pretend that we're going to be doing a mailing to these presidents. Some of them have an address to column, which might be an apartment, and some of them have a zip code that begins with 0. And in case you're not aware, if you type in a zip code like 02410 and you press return, it gobbles up the first 0 because it thinks of it as a number. But if you format a section of your spreadsheet or an entire column and you format it as not number or general, but text, by formatting it as text, it says text cells are treated as text even when a number is in the cell. So now if I type in 02410, or I even type in 00011, it formats it with the leading zeros. And of course, if I center that, then it all looks good and we're all set. So that's the trick I employed in column F. Now, this is, as you see, an XLSX file. And in the old days, it was necessary to go to File, Save As, and change the format to CSV. Sometimes to solve problems, you still do it. So let's get you all smart to know that CSV means comma separated values. And when you save it in that style, it warns you that it may not be recoverable, selected format, and you say fine. You've already saved it as XLSX, so you're just saving it as a second time as CSV. Again, can be useful for solving problems, but not generally needed. Now, to print these mailing labels, we launch Microsoft Word, and we go through a whole set of skills. I'm going to be as careful as possible because I've stumbled many times over this. I know people have, right? And I urge you to practice, and maybe even pause this video and try it out to absorb each of the steps. So I've got a Microsoft Word document open. If I look under the Tools menu, I see I have the ability to do Mail Merge Manager. I go to Mail Merge Manager, and step 1, which obviously I'm going to begin with, is either create new, or step 2 is going to be get a list. So we're going to need to do those 2 steps together. And mail merge can be done for many things. I'm going to start off doing it for labels. And then if you've been to Staples or any kind of supply store, you know that there are all sorts of popular different sizes for labels. Okay, so I'm going to use, I think it is mailing labels. I don't have the number in front of me. I think it's that one, 5662. And then I click OK. And this is what it does in response to step 1. It just sets up the size with the number of inches from top to bottom and left to right for each label. Next, I do step 2. I get a list from a data source. So this file, right, for my spreadsheet begins with the word sample, and I can see both the CSV, which I don't need, and this one, which I do want, and I click OK. And now I choose the defaults. And now I'm on a screen called Edit Labels. And it says, what do you want to have for the sample label? So I'm going to insert the name and then press return. Then I'm going to insert address 1, press return. Then I'm going to insert address 2, press return. Then I'm going to insert the city, then press comma, then a space. Then I'm going to insert the state, and then I'm going to go 2 spaces, and then I'm going to insert the zip code. So I'm building my recipe, and this is what I have now. Now let's say, moving Mail Manager over, that I want the name to be larger and bold. So if I highlight where it says name, and then I choose bold, it will make the top left label to be bold. And then if you look carefully, this last one right here, let me make sure you can read it, says fill in the items to complete your document. So it basically propagates those changes to all of them. So if I click on that, you can see how name has become bold in each one. Again, I'm just going to be silly here and make the city be italicized. So I highlight city, make it be italicized, but that's not going to achieve the result until I go over to this thing, which is the 2-arrow, fill in the items to complete your document. I call it propagate, and when I click it, it now propagates throughout. Okay? That's step 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to skip step 4 for this lesson and just go to step 5, which is preview results. Step 5 gives you this screen, and I love clicking on the ABC because when I click on the ABC, it shows me the exact look of what I have, and the opposite of ABC is clicking on the A with the braces. The A with the braces shows you the computer code, so to speak, of what it's merging. ABC shows you the names, the computer code. Okay? As I step forward, this allows me, if I wanted to start with a different one, it shows the first one it's starting with. And I'll just type in and set that for 1. At this point, I've done most of the critical steps. My boss wants the names to be bigger. Okay, boss, I'll come back and I'll highlight that and I'll change that font size to be bigger. Does that do it for all of them? No, you can clearly see it doesn't. But I'll use my propagate right over there, fill in the items to complete, and now Ronald Reagan and Jimmy Carter got bigger. My boss doesn't like the italicized for the city, so I'll highlight that and then unitalicize it. But notice it didn't do it for Ronald Reagan and Jimmy Carter until I come over and I propagate. When you're done, you go to complete merge, and you now have 2 choices. 1, you can print directly to a printer, or 2, you can merge to a new document, which would be a word processing document that would show you exactly what it's going to print if it were going to print. And now you have it in word processing in case you want to do some fine tinkering or you want to preserve it that way. I'm going to do that for us. I'm going to click on that, and now it's going to generate the exact labels that would be printed on the printer. Always, always, always test one page before you waste multiple pages of your printing paper. Just print one before you get all of them. Okay? Hope this has been helpful. More to come.
Hey everybody, Steve Bergen, and so this is what a typical box looks like in Staples, and this one happens to be for name badges, and you'll see that there's an Avery number. It gives you the exact size of the label, and then they say use that Avery number. And every single one of their pages, so here's a page of little tiny mailing labels, and it says very clearly right up there that that is Avery 5160. These are for hello names. This is 5390, and you can see each label there fits something like this. So I print them off with the name and then put them in these plastics, right? And you can customize this with whatever fields you want, all part of doing a Microsoft Excel to Microsoft Word mail merge using the skills I'm showing you in this video. And you can specify the size of things and the fields. Okay, let's keep going.
Okay, so let's go back to our president's spreadsheet. And this time my boss wants me to print out hello labels so that we have Bill's name and Herbert's name and Ronald's name nice and big on a hello label. We just bought a whole bunch of these. They're 5390 Avery. My boss is a first name kind of person, so we're going to insert a column or two, and then we're going to use the feature that takes this and goes text to columns and puts a space as the delimiter and then chooses finish. And now we've got Bill's name over there, and we've got middle initial or last name over there. And in the interest of time, I'm going to simply sort by column C. My list has headers, and I'm going to just move this stuff over here so I don't have to worry about it, and then delete this column and get back in business with you. Okay, so hello label is coming up. We have a first name and we have a last name. In the interest of repetition, I'm going to save this file, and we're going to say hello labels. And just to get you practicing and seeing it again, I'm going to change it to CSV. I hope you know what that means, comma separated values. And I'm going to save it, not be bothered by that error message, and just in case. All right? So I'm going to go over to Microsoft Word. I'm going to make a new file. I'm going to go under Tools to Mail Merge. Manager was off. Actually, it's on now, so that's fine. I actually rather go from scratch, so I'm going to go turn it off and turn it on. Create new. We're going to go for labels. I've got 5390 is my name badge. 5390 is the label I showed you, and that label is about 2.5 inches deep and 3.5 wide. Okay, and so now we want to get the list. Open data source. I believe I called it with hello. So there's hello labels XLSX. Don't need the CSV, but there it is. I open it. Okay, choose OK. Ignore that message and go right through this. And now I want the insert the first name all by itself. Then I want to have a carriage return. And then down below, I want the last name. Then I want to put a parenthesis and then say the city, comma, state. And that's all I want on my label. I click OK. I've got that, but I want the first name to be big. So I'm going to highlight that and make the first name to be really big, like maybe 36 point. I will propagate, which is this last icon right over there that really says fill in the items to complete your document, but I like to think of it as propagate. And now it puts this messy stuff here. Don't be bothered by that messy stuff. Remember, when you go to step 5 and you preview and you click on ABC, it'll look fine. Maybe I want John to be centered, so I'll click on John and then choose centered. But do I have to do that for all of them? No, because I can come up and propagate, and after I do that, now they're all centered. I guess I want to center the other one as well, so I should have done that. Centered. And now I will propagate, and we're good. I told you we're going to talk about filters, but not in this particular moment. Okay. You can dress up the font. You can make any kind of stylistic, thing you want to it. Anything you want to make happen to that. Change the font of that, and just remember your friend is propagate up there. And now they're all going to look that way. And then when you scroll down, you see that. I just got an email from my boss who did not like the comma there. So I'll come take the comma out. And then notice the comma's out for the first one, but not the others. Propagate, and now it's out for all of them. And finally, I'll go down to complete merge, right? And merge to printer, maybe, but this is very advantageous, especially on the video. And now I've got a document. I can close this up. And it shows you how I printed hello labels for people in the workshop, where I can see their first name and their last name is on the second line with the town that they're from. Okay? Hope this has been helpful. More to come.
So we're going to try it this time doing mail merge letters, and we're going to use filters. So I've got my Hello Label address book in front of me, and I want to write, according to my boss, letters just to people from a certain state. I'm talking specifically about that state in terms of the letter. So I am just going to leave the spreadsheet here. I'm not going to do any filtering here. I'm going to go to word processor, and I'm going to open up a Microsoft Word document, and I'm going to go to my friend under Tools, call Mail Merge, and I'm going to create a new Mail Merge. This time I'm going to do form letters, and now I need to tell it where the list is. So I'm going to open the data source
right, which is called Hello Labels. And maybe I've done the CSV, or maybe I didn't need to. I generally don't. I ignore this message. I'm not bothered by it at all. I click OK. And this all looks good. And now I'm going to use this when I want. So maybe the top left of the letter is going to be the first name, and then a space, and then the last name, and then I'm going to have the address line, push return, the address line, push return, and then city, comma, state, space, zip code. And now I'm going to say dear, and now I'm going to get the first name again. So it's going to say Dear John or Dear Jane, or if I wanted to be more formal, Dear Mr. Jones. I know you are from Massachusetts, specifically the town of, and now I will grab the city. I wonder if you and your town are planning to name a street after Tom Brady, who just won the Super Bowl. Or if you want to connect me to someone else in, and now I will grab in the blank zip code area, I would love to speak to him or her. Steve. Now, I wanted to do a filter. So a filter on Microsoft Word with Excel is just like a filter. I'm going to click on filter. I'm going to go to options, and I'm going to say regarding the state, I want state equal to Massachusetts. You could also do or state equal to something else, but I'm just doing Massachusetts. I'm clicking OK. That's it for filter. If I now use my friend number 5, ABC, I see that I'm mailing Ulysses Grant in Lexington, and I'm mailing Jimmy Carter in Lexington, and Barack Obama in Lexington, right? And I've got my letters. So I've got my mail merge letters. I can do anything I want to make the letters, fancier. Then when I'm done, I'm going to merge to a new document. And now, if I show you using the Microsoft Word feature, miniature, you'll see the 3 letters. So there they are. 3 letters, mail merged, right? Each one is of the form that we discussed. We used the mail merge features, and this time we used filters. Okay? Hope that you can do this and practice it, right? Steve Bergen signing off. Bye.